What's up, sucker?
What's up? Hold on a sec.
I was like, come on, I gotta see your pretty face.
There it is.
Sun's out, tats out.
I went to the gym this morning. I lost myself.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, there it
Oh, there it
goes!
goes again.
Woo! Thank you! Whoever that is. I don't know who that is. It's hard telling, which is funny because today it's this one, and
Yep,
last time it was this one.
that's
And none of
funny.
the other ones would go off. It was just this one over here, and now it's just this little guy over here. But yeah, so
Nice.
it's saying welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for
Oh, look,
welcoming
it goes
me. I'm so
again.
happy to be
It,
here.
it really is saying that it goes again. So it's like, yeah, really, what's up, dude? That's awesome. So this is why I record, which you'll find out. I'm sure at some point because I usually mention it when something happens. Point out because there's only one place that you can see the videos, and that would be my Patreon page. Oh, it's going again. I really likes you. Okay, all right. It's saying let's get this motherfucker going. Okay, so I was going
So
through a
you said you
thing.
only post the videos to Patreon?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I do my live feeds and I do audio everywhere, and then only, and it's not just every patron. It's only one tier of the Patreon, but it gets all of my stuff. And I mean, everything is unedited. It gets all the video from the Patreon episodes, the regular episodes. Oh my God, it is going fucking bananas. It really likes you. I wonder if I should turn my app on to see if it'll tell me who it is. I'm gonna do that real
It
quick to see
might.
if it'll
It
tell.
might. It could be my people's.
Oh man, it's like seriously. Wow, okay. Philip. Does Philip mean anything to
Feel
you?
it. Well,
Hi,
nope,
Philip.
don't, not at all. What's up, Philip?
Yeah, hey, Philip. Welcome to the show. Yeah, that's literally like because I just said that and it was quiet, and then it just goes Philip, and then nothing.
All right. Philip's
So
hanging out.
I guess, hey, Philip, what's up? I don't know Philip. Well, really, I'm in my pitch.
Ask. You should probably ask him and be like, "Hey, what's
Are you?
happening, Phil?
Yeah, are you digging my outfit, Philip? Brandy. I don't know who Brandy is, but
What's up, Brandy?"
yeah, what up, Brandy?
Or
Disrespectful. I'm
or
sorry.
it means that they want some brandy.
Oh yeah. All I have are screwdrivers with me right now.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say I saw you posting stuff super early this morning.
yep. So I was like, well, I guess I might as well get up because I can't feel like I'm falling back asleep. I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
That's hilarious. What the fuck?
Lower. Oh, I got lower your voice. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So
Damn.
sorry.
You know what? I bet that's Gertrude. So she's a little old lady that hangs out at the house. And but given the fact that it's saying, you're being disrespectful and lower your voice, that sounds like a little old lady.
It does.
I was on the fence about whether or not I wanted to do a topic I know you've covered or another one that I'm sure you've covered, but I haven't heard you cover it. But I really am interested in your opinion on this topic. So we're going to hit it again if that's okay. Otherwise, I mean, I've literally got options.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about, I'm game for.
Okay,
So
well, I'm gonna leave out probably the demon ones because I clearly have enough action in here. I don't need to bring anything else in here.
yeah, no, you don't.
So, yeah, feel free to chime in or anything. Don't feel like you have to wait for me to get done before you have to say anything. Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
sounds
All right.
good.
So this whole thing's been recording, so we'll just, I guess, get into it. All right.
That's nice of you, though.
So I figured I would try. Oh, did you see my Mothman?
Yeah, I saw that you posted
He's
it the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah,
And I even I got little tags. So every time I send one off, I put a handwritten message and I sign it.
nice.
I thought it
That's
was cute.
awesome.
Now that we've been dicking around for half an hour, everybody's been hanging out.
No,
Welcome back, everybody. We have a new guest today who, by the way, you guys should really, really subscribe to the top tier in Patreon because you can see the video. Not only can you see my cute little thing I drew on my face for St. Patrick's Day here, my little St. Patrick's Day makeup, and the fact that my spooks in this room really, really love him. I mean, it has been go, go, go on my sensors since he came on here. Not to mention he's in here in a tank top and he's ripped with tattoos. So please, it's worth it. It's worth it. Even if it's just 1 month and you bail, just this episode's worth it. But that being said, it is Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are. See that? I'm better than Scott. I didn't mess it up.
Yeah, you didn't mess it up.
I
That's
also have it right in
right.
front of me. I could have left that part out, but I'll
You
tell
want to know
myself.
what? They had it written on their wall and they still fucked it up.
I had to think about it. I was like, is that right? According to our little questionnaire, it says that he is a professional bullshitter. So we are in the same industry. I feel like we could probably correlate. Maybe we can get some good, job things going. But as always, I'm going to open the floor to Kevin and allow him to kind of let you guys know what it is he does, what he covers, and anything that he sees fit. So Kevin, take it away.
All right. All right. So obviously, like Natasha said, my name's Kevin. I'm the host of Where the Weird Ones Are. It's a conversational based podcast where I cover guests, encounters, sightings, all that stuff and experiences with paranormal, cryptids, anything supernatural. We touch on spirituality. Mental health is I like to focus on a lot because when you experience this shit, sometimes you think you're fucking crazy,
They
and
can't see me
so
nodding. I am nodding so hard I'm going to get whiplash. Oh, there it
yeah,
goes again. It agrees. All right, Spook agrees.
yeah, yeah. And then I also dive into conspiracies, and I do a conspiracy Tuesday almost once a month. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit further in between. The conspiracy Tuesdays have been moved to Patreon. So I do have a
Ooh.
Patreon. It's one tier only. I do like a story time. And then the conspiracy Tuesdays, you get a free coffee mug and whatnot like that. And then you get early access to the regular shows, but I don't try to push the Patreon too much just because I don't really care. But if people are willing to support me, then that's
Yep.
a good way to do so. But I like talking to people about their experiences and all this stuff, and that's what I do it for. So I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to talk to people and get their perspectives on shit. And it's a pretty neat hobby. And like in the real world, when I try to talk to people, people don't tend to really open up. So
Yep.
then when I'm like, hey, by the way, I have a podcast, and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I got to tell you this because it really cracks me up. So I design all my own merch, right? And I sell all of it. And one of the sites that I use, I get a discount on certain items. It's like 3 a month or something to try. It's kind of their way of saying, here, try this out. If you like it, put it on your store. If you don't like it, you don't have to put it on the store. And so I pretty much wear my merch. So it's like all I wear, other than these pajamas I'm rocking right now. I pretty much
the pajamas with no bra.
Yeah, my pajamas with no bra. Yeah. Patreon feed. Even when I'm around the house in my pajamas, I made a dress with my logo and I wear it around the house because it's like super comfortable. I love it. It's super cozy. I wear it all the time. To the point where I was like, ooh, I did a live in my pajamas yesterday. I should probably change my clothes. I almost didn't, but I was like, I probably should. I'm going to tell myself. But anyway, so I even have pants that are white on black with my logo.
Yep.
And they're awesome. They have pockets and they're really comfortable. The only downside is I'm 2 foot tall. So I kind of have to roll them to make sure I don't step on them. Apparently I have a lot more junk in my trunk than legs. So I got to be careful. But I wear them to work. And this lady, we have to gown up at my job. And so we have to wear the booties, the gown, the hairnet, the gloves, the whole 9 yards. I mean, we're basically performing surgery is what it feels like. And I was putting my booties on one day, and this lady was sitting, the younger girl was sitting there, and she was kind of looking me up and down. And at first I was flattered. And then I was like, wait, because she was kind of giving me a weird look. And I was like, okay, maybe that's not the look I want to get. And eventually she finally worked. What is cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy? And I was like, oh, it's my podcast. This woman, you would have thought that. Okay, that was a horrible example. The only person I could think of was Miley Cyrus off the top of my head. That is a horrible example. Sandra Bullock? Okay, no. What's that really funny lady that's kind of chubby that plays in Ghostbusters?
Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, that lady. That's probably more my forte. But you would have just assumed that she just walk in and she just looked at me and her eyes were so huge and I love her. So if she's listening, you're awesome. She's great. And she's like, I've never met a real podcaster like in real life before. I mean, I just felt like I was famous and I was like, oh, thank you. Here's my card. And it really is great to kind of get out there and then people, recognize you and they want to talk to you. And I mean, it's really a good conversation starter too, because there's people where I've had where they don't really say much and something, I don't know, weird gets brought up. And I was like, oh, well, on my podcast. And they're like, oh, like you have a podcast. What's it about? And so I tell them, they're like, oh, well, my aunt or my cousin or my brother this one time. And so then I get these stories. Unfortunately, nobody wants to share them in written form so that I can share them. If somebody tells me a story, I don't regurgitate it. I want them to send it in because I want to tell it the way they want it told. I don't want to miss something or play telephone or anything like that. But a lot of people don't like to do that, but it still is fun. And the conventions are great. Again, I
love conventions.
I will be at Paracon in May on the 18th and 19th. And then in September, the last week of September, I think it's the 27th through the 29th or something, I'll be at the Indiana Bigfoot Conference. And then at the end of November, I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, for CryptidCon. I'll be there. I got approved to have a vendor slot at Indiana Bigfoot Conference. When we say things, it's like donate. Like on my website, I have a spot where if you don't want to do the Patreon every month, there's a spot on my website where you could just donate. Just $1, $5, whatever you feel like donating. Or you could do the Patreon and then you get bonus shit. I mean, I've got options from audio, like extra audios, all my video content's there. I only have one little subscriber right now. Love you, Dixon. But when I get enough on there, I also have the Discord. And on the Discord, I'm wanting to, once I get people on there, either do like movie nights or get people together and do like a one-on-one, more of a one-on-one type question answer kind of thing, just kind of hang out, that kind of stuff. I want to create that community to give people that opportunity to share and be exposed and all of that stuff and just kind of network with people because I'm weird.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And example, last night I'm on my live feed and I'm talking to my invisible friends in the room, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
My stepchildren found out that I was live on TikTok. So they came on and they're like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to somebody in there? Who's at the house? And I was like, oh no, I'm talking to my invisible friends. And they're like, okay. That's usually what I get for people. Like, you're fucking nuts. Or it's like, hey, I see demons and I hear dead people and I can feel them. And I'm like, weird stuff where I'm like, hey, sometimes I can tell people when they're having a baby, what they're having and all of that hoo-ha before they even know. Unfortunately, I can also know usually within a 3 to 5 day span. Well, usually it's like 24 hours to a 5-day span if someone's going to die.
Shit.
Yeah, that's the unpleasant part. I don't have any control over it, so I don't like advertise it or anything. I mean, I'll tell people about it because it's just something weird that I do, and I've done it for years. Yeah. But I don't have any control over it. And stuff like that, or when I see things or hear things, even me sometimes I'm like, am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? Is this real? So it's even though I do this. This is what I do. I do it for, I enjoy it. I have a good time. It would be nice. I mean, one of these days I would love for this to be my job instead of dicking around doing that crap.
Same.
and all of that. But it's just, I've listened to people's episodes and like I marked it down and I reached out and I was like, can I get a hold of this person? Because I've never met somebody else besides me who has seen that or who has done that or something like that. So it's really nice to just kind of have those and kind of have that similarity. And then when you do sometimes start to be like, shit, like, am I nuts? You can reach out. And I really like that you tackle mental health because I am nuts. But it's part of my problem. I'm very heavily medicated nuts. So I'm a little better than I used to be. But I really am clinically fucking nuts. And so I'm bipolar,
Thank you for tuning in.
and I have borderline personality disorder. I have
the following
ADHD.
content may involve
I can't
explicit
sleep.
language
I
and
can't
materials,
I
so
am
listener
just.
discretion
I have
is advised.
PTSD. You name it. Shit happens. But my brain is. This is your brain on mental health instead of drugs. With the scrambled eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I can see mentally and logically, I can see this could be like, is this my stuff? I'm like, no, I've been taking my medication. I'm not having any issues. Everything is fine. And this has happened pre-medication, during medication, after I've had my medication figured out. It's something that's unexplainable, but it makes me question my own sanity. Am I schizophrenic too? I mean, fuck. Like, what can it cause that? I mean, what's happening? And even when I have things that happen, like our little balls that keep going off,
Yep.
and stuff, and I have things like that, they happen. I'm watching it happen, and I'm still like, am I seeing things? Is this real?
You're not crazy. I mean, I see shit too. I see shit in this house all the time. There's always shadow people out in my
Yep.
hallway. Last night my son went up to his room and said one of his stuffed animals was just chilling on his bed, sitting upright in the center of his bed. And so I come upstairs just so I can
Oh,
look at it to see if
hell no.
that's actually happening.
Did you
And
like sage that shit?
well, sage. So I've
I've heard
learned
mixed things. I've heard mixed things about sage.
I learned sage opens portals and makes things worse, and it doesn't actually go away with sage.
Oh, it
That's
usually fins mine off for a little bit.
yeah, and so it's yeah, same. Because I've saged this house before.
Well, the
Um,
spooks stay, the demon left.
yeah, yeah. I don't
So,
know. I had somebody reach out on my YouTube and say, hey, just so you know, like I'm Native American and we
mhm.
use sage to open portals and
Well,
shit.
maybe you can like
So
open the portal and like kick their ass out, give them the boot. You're like, get the
maybe,
fuck out of here, man.
maybe.
Got word back. I've been working with my absolute favorite podcast, Kryptonaut Podcast. If you do not listen to them, seriously, especially like if you like cryptid stuff and aliens and all that, they're fucking hilarious. And they have fantastic topics. The research is phenomenal. I love these guys. They're actually the reason I started this.
No shit.
I didn't know, at first I was listening and I've listened to all their episodes. I'm horrible, like 4 or 5 times. To me, they're very soothing and they're hilarious. And after listening, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. They didn't mean to, they have no idea who the hell I was, but they really did inspire me to be like, you know what? I'm going to try it, see how it goes and fuck it. Like if people like me can do this, why the hell not?
Uh-huh.
So I wrote them a poem for their podcast. Well, Philip has not been pestering us for a few minutes.
That's true. I
Philip?
haven't seen that thing light up. There it is. He's back.
Oh, thanks, Philip. Sorry. I want to make sure you're not messing with my kid. Can you make sure that everybody's good?
I'm going to North Carolina on April 13th for Encounter Quest, and I'm vending there.
Ooh!
So that'll be fun. And then I'm vending at one here in my town, Sanford, Maine, on June 18th. That one's called 40 and Fest. And then I want to go to Monster Fest and Squonkapalooza. And then I'm also going to be at CryptidCon.
Oh, so you have to find me at CryptidCon. I wanted to go to more, but again, I'm a broke bitch. So donate if you want me to go to these things. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I just got this message. But anyway, so what I was going to tell you so I wrote him a poem and I based the poem off their episodes, Patreon and the regular feed, and incorporated it into it. I was very proud of myself, and they were actually really impressed. And I was super, at least it sounded like they were impressed. And I was like totally fangirling.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, I'm like, what would be the odds that I could get some combination of you three on my show? And they're like, oh yeah, like one of us could totally be on it. And I was like, I fell out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like freaking out. And I just got an email that on like the 28th, if I have time, one of them's going to be on. Oh, so excited. Okay, sorry.
Nice.
Somebody else likes it too. Conventions. All right, we're good. I think that sums all of that stuff up. So I was trying to do a little finagling with my little notes here. Yeah, I do a lot of I do a lot of gestures.
So do I.
Yeah.
I'm constantly going like this,
Yeah.
pointing at the camera. So.
Well, I did. Okay. I don't remember if it was my episode. I think it was my episode. And we somehow brought up Ed Gein. And someone was like, did you know that there was a musical? Like an Ed Gein musical?
I didn't know that.
So I created some lyrics and sang a little ditty on the podcast.
Oh my God, that's great.
But I was like, and I tried to do it like high pitch just to kind of make it feel like it was like an opera. But it involved the nipple belt. So, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I do a lot of random things. I do a lot of, sometimes I do voice or sounds. I don't mean to, it just happens. I have it too cold. Well, I mean, I guess you guys can't see, but I don't have it too cold in here.
I know, I can't tell. It's camera's too high.
Philip might like it. I specifically moved it. It was back there so you would have been able to see like everything. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should do it. Not to mention, I pod with no pants. So
yeah, and Patreon would have loved it.
Oh yeah, it would have been great. Just like, so I decided after listening to again, we are going to do I do this. I shout out everybody. It's kind of my thing. I heard you on Beyond the Shadows with Scott and Ryan. I hate his name. Scott and the other guy.
Ron.
Yeah.
Ron.
There's some names I can't say. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Real funny. Thanks. Thanks, Philip. And anyhoozle, Scott touched in weird pause. Scott touched on Wendigos.
Yep. And
some of his information he had information that I didn't have. I have information that he didn't have. And you guys, I mean, you talked a little bit, but you didn't talk a whole lot about it. And it's something that I think is like super crazy. And there were some points that I wanted to make listening to your guys' episode because like, you just ideas, you listen, you're like, oh, what about this? And ooh, what about that? So I brought mine up and I figured we could talk about that if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you said it correctly too, because it's Wendigo, not Wendigo.
Oh. Okay.
So
I can't say names, but I can say that, son of a bitch.
Yep, you sure can.
Take that. It's because I don't want to be haunted, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So mine's a little different. I have a little story-esque type little thing here at the beginning, and then I get into details.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Buckle up, because here we go. Picture this. You and your loved ones are living a nomadic lifestyle long before electricity, indoor plumbing, and many other modern-day commodities millions of people take for granted every day. You and the other villagers are gathering food and other materials from the surrounding North American landscape for the inevitable, bitter, worrisome, and white winter that is rapidly closing in. Reluctantly, you stand at the edge of the forest just outside the village. The indication of the approaching seasonal shift blows against your neck as you make your way into the wooded landscape for a much-needed hunt. The anxiety starts to radiate through your veins as the rumors of other villagers have mysteriously disappeared since the winter weather has began overtakes your thoughts. Rumors have spread like wildfire throughout yours and the surrounding villages of a monster who was once a friendly and hardworking neighbor. During the hunt, you pick up the pace as you start to experience a feeling that you're being followed. When the putrid stench of rotten flesh begins to fill the air, you flee post-haste back towards the hope and safety found on the other side of the woodline. Thankfully, when the job is done, you get welcomed back with the open arms of your spouse and children, for you made it through another day avoiding a deadly encounter with the well-known Wendigo, which translates to, roughly, one of the definitions, the evil spirit that devours mankind. So, I also have listed that to the Ojibwe, I'm horrible at pronouncing things, so sorry if I fuck it up. They kind of refer to it as the winter cannibal monster, but the origin of the name actually goes kind of back to the Proto-Algonquin word, Wintikawa, which actually means owl, which I thought was interesting that it was owl.
Yeah, a lot of weird things have been popping up ever since I got an owl tattooed on my fucking throat, which is fucking crazy.
So somebody else told me that they had a significance of an owl. I think it was my stepdaughter. Something about her grandma or something.
Yeah.
And in my house, I have these little square boxes that are up on the wall, and I just kind of have like little knickknacks all over them, And one of them was this wooden carved owl.
Mhm.
And it was just in a little box by itself. It always faces straight forward. It's at attention. It's just always forward because I'm OCD and I can't stand it being crooked. And one day I was walking out and I just had this weird urge that I needed to turn around and look at it, which I thought was weird because, it's been there for 2 years. And I was like, okay. So I turn around and it is in the exact same location, but it had rotated 45 degrees and was looking into my bedroom.
Eesh.
Yeah. I thought, me being me, I was trying to cover my bases. And so then I accuse everybody in the house. If you get on my merch, there's one that says, "Who fucked with my owl?" That's where this comes from. So I'm like, "Who fucked with my owl?" And they're all like, "What are you talking about?" Because they know you don't touch mom's stuff because, I'll lose my mind. And so nobody's claimed they touched it. And I tried opening the doors and slamming stuff. I tried everything to try to figure out if it maybe wiggled. Nope. Nope. So it is now in a box in my shed. I got that thing the fuck out of here. I was like, nope.
Yeah, fuck
And
that thing.
yeah, screw that shit.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
But yeah, so then I kind of noted, a lot of people do kind of have somewhat of an idea of what it is and maybe where it comes from or certain details about it.
Yeah.
But for anybody who hasn't, we're just going to bear with me. If you've already heard it, that's fine. Maybe I can give you guys a little piece of information that maybe you didn't have before. But lore surrounding this atrocious anomaly are rooted in the Algonquin people, as I stated earlier. Some say that this beast generally starts out as a human, and they get kind of hard pressed to survive the cold winters, and they have to resort to cannibalism to survive. Other lore states that one can actually become a Wendigo if they are overcome with guilt, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm.
I feel like maybe that's probably a good thing. Well, okay, maybe it's not a good thing that murders exist, but a lot of murderers are sociopaths and they don't feel guilt. Otherwise, we'd have a bunch of these damn things running around.
Absolutely.
So maybe.
And Algonquin is a tribe from the New England area too, by the way. So
Oh, well, because a lot of these sightings are from, well, I'll get into it. Yep. Later. Western.
yeah,
Northwestern, I guess.
There's a lot in the Colorado mountains and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was there's people mining out there in like the late 1800s, and they were mining in the mountains.
Yeah.
And they got the winter. I think the Black Forest is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that, and they're mining out there, and then they were rationing food and shit, and then they got trapped, and then they
Yep.
started eating each other and stuff like that, and the spirit of the Wendigo started possessing them, and they turned into these grotesque creatures, and they live inside the mines now, in the caves and shit out there.
See, I don't know how you would get multiple out of one situation. I feel like it would be one person would then eat everyone else.
Yeah.
And then there'd be one Wendigo?
Yeah, well, so you sometimes when they'll bite you or something like that. So it's almost like a vampire kind of thing, because sometimes you'll just get bitten and you'll turn into one. I don't know if that's in the Native American lore, but that's something that has been said.
Because I have something another way that they turn into it, but I don't remember if being bit. Oh, I think it was being scratched. I don't know. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Woo! They also insinuate that a person can transform into a Wendigo if they are in contact with such a beast for too long. However, I'm not entirely certain how somebody can survive long enough for this to happen. However, there was a story where supposedly a Wendigo kidnapped, basically killed everybody in the village. There was a boy, and the boy, because they were hungry, they didn't have enough food. The boy was really skinny, and it was kind of like, well, this is useless. So it kidnaps him instead of killing him.
Uh-huh.
And it then holds him captive and feeds him, kind of like Hansel and Gretel. It's just trying to bulk him up. And it doesn't matter how much he feeds this kid, he just doesn't get any better. And eventually, because he is exposed to the Wendigo for so long, he then transforms into one himself. And I don't know if they're territorial or, you know what I mean? Kind of like a lion that's got a range. I wonder how that works.
Like with the cave systems and stuff, like it said that there's multiple.
Well, if the cave systems are big enough, I could see that working.
Yeah.
I don't, because obviously they don't travel in packs, right? I hope not. Oh my gosh,
No,
can you
no.
imagine a
Well,
pack of Wendigo?
yeah. Well, have you ever played Until Dawn?
No.
So it's a video game. It's one of those like decision making games or whatever, and it's based in the actual Black Forest in Colorado. And it's Wendigos, and it's like a shit ton of Wendigos descend on this cabin of these like teenagers who are there for the weekend.
Oh, so it's like Wendigo meets whatever the scary movies are that I don't watch.
Crystal Lake, like I don't know, some
Thank
shit
you.
like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know
Well,
which
Friday the
killer.
13th. There we go.
Thank you. I don't know which killer goes with what place. I'm like, I don't know. I just know Freddy Krueger has this little like scissors, Edward
Yeah,
Scissorhand things.
yeah.
But that's all I know. I don't know shit about scary movies. I'm horrible.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a horror movie buff.
I'm working on it. So, well, the reason why is I have this problem. Being an empath is a problem,
Yep.
and I know
I
that it's
see that.
I know that it's fake. I know that it's fake. I know it's not real, but I can feel it,
Yes.
and I
So
don't like
I
that.
ex I experienced that with Doctor Sleep. There's a scene in there with like a 10-year-old boy, and I fucking lost my mind to the so bad that I couldn't sleep. And then I had to go. Went to the Red Box and rented a movie that kid is in, that he's the main character in, just so that I
Just
knew
to
that he was okay.
Well, that makes sense. So I tried to watch. Okay, this is how lame I am. I can't even watch the movie Scream. I watched Scream when I was a kid. One
Yeah.
time, I tried to man up and do it, and I watched it, and then I couldn't sleep. So then I watched a Bill Cosby or the Cosbys on reruns. But then I found out later that that was even a worse choice. So I mean, either way, I was fucked. But at the time, I was just trying to watch anything. So I've just never really been good, and I also hate rom coms. I hate chick flicks because, and
Me too.
I know this is horrible, but with my mental health stuff, I have two modes. I have feel nothing and feel everything 100 times more than a normal person does. That's literally how my doctor explained it to me. She was
That is
like,
so much fun.
yeah, she was like, well, either you feel nothing. She's like, but what people don't realize is when you feel something, she goes, you're literally feeling it under a microscope. That's basically what it's like for you. And I was like, that makes sense, which is a lot of times why I learned to shut it down. I don't like feelings. I don't even if they're like again, you're watching a rom com or something. Like it's supposed to be feel good. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm like, turn it off. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to feel that. I want mind numbing. I'm huge on Criminal Minds, which is probably not helping. Law and Order, like all of those shows, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I really do struggle with feeling it, and I think a lot of it too is how it works. If you're around people, you feel other people. So I don't want to. If I feel me on top of other people and everything's magnified, then it gets way too overwhelming and I can't handle it,
Uh,
and I shut down. So yeah,
yeah, I get
welcome
that.
to the
I
world
get
of
that.
mental health sucks. But anyway, so I avoid scary movies.
Yes.
Uh, anyway, we're gonna switch on over to Cree mythology, and in their thoughts, they label it as being more.
Cree is Canadian, isn't it?
I thought
Or
Cree was
Alaskan?
more like, yeah, I was thinking it was more like, I don't know how to put this without it sounding like me being an asshole.
Hold on.
I, well, I'm like, how do you put, what's a good word for that? I don't want to call them wood people, forest people. Shit.
Yeah, all right. So Cree is
Mountain people.
Canadian. They're
Oh,
Canadian tribe. Okay, so Ontario,
oh, yep.
and Alberta, Quebec, stuff
Hey,
like
I know
that.
some people in Alberta. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, if you're listening. But they kind of view it more as a spiritual being as opposed to something, I guess, physically created.
Yep.
And then they kind of go along the lines of, it possesses unsuspecting people. It's said to happen if somebody experiences, there we go, a bite from the
Mhm.
spirit in a dream, specifically is what I
In a
have.
dream.
Yes.
Okay.
So people who tend to be more gluttonous or greedy are said to stand more of a chance of being possessed by Wendigo.
Yep.
And the victim will then begin to act violent, excessively deranged, and take on an insatiable cannibalistic appetite, which they have dubbed as, quote unquote, going Wendigo. I love it. I'm like,
Uh,
dude, I feel like I could go Wendigo.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, well, and they kind of like they have like a basis there because if you're gluttonous and you're out here in the wilderness with a group of people and you're fucking hungry, you're fucking gonna go right into fucking
well, yeah, maybe. I feel like there's definitely a line going from like gluttonous, I'll eat everything, but people, like,
uh,
something like that. I feel like there's a certain line that you got to cross. There's a certain a special kind of person.
yeah, yeah, it does take
Although,
a special
to
kind of
be
person for
fair,
sure.
if I was starving, I would fucking eat a person. I don't care.
I wouldn't.
I would.
I would never.
No shame.
No, I don't
Now,
want because like even without the Wendigo stuff, the things that come with cannibalism, I don't want any part of it. Like you after you experience like human meat, like eating your own people,
long
like
pig.
you get shaky and
Really?
unless you eat it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm shaky all the time.
Your
So
your teeth start to die, your teeth fall out of your face.
how does that
So,
work?
I don't know. It's crazy. It's weird. There's a lot of it's weird. There's a
I
lot
wonder
of
if it's
weird shit.
if you eat only long pig, which by the way, everybody, a long pig is another name for people meat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if it's if you only eat that, maybe the nutrients that you're lacking from the other types of things. Because if you're eating, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what the people you're eating are eating. Like if you eat a bunch of vegetarians, maybe it won't be the bad. Because
Yeah, maybe.
well, because I'm thinking, you eat cows and cows eat grass. Okay, if you guys are vegetarian, sorry, but I really don't give a shit. I like meat, and I want
I
to turn
love
around and
meat.
I want to beg for mercy as I'm eating it. Like some bitch better be mooing at me. Yeah,
Jesus.
it's basically raw. Um,
Yeah.
Everybody jokes says I'm a vampire. That the pasty skin being in the dark all the time kind of helps.
Okay.
I'm just thinking if some of the nutrients that you would be missing, because I mean anything that people in a nomadic lifestyle would eat,
Yeah.
goats, sheep, pigs, cows, everything but a chicken basically eats grass and other
Hmm.
vegetation, and because and that's why it makes such a difference if you're eating a uh, grass-fed cow versus eating a grain-fed cow. They taste different, and if that is a factor, then maybe it would be different if you eat a vegetarian or you eat a meat eater.
Maybe. There's
But maybe that's what
it's
it
a
is,
good thought
though.
process.
Yeah, and you got to think maybe if they talk about cannibalism now and it rotting your face out and everything, maybe that is because the people being eaten nowadays you're primarily getting grease, fat, just sugar. You're getting this junk food. And so their body's processing it and then you're eating their processed whatever. So
Yeah.
maybe you just needed to eat people back in the day. Oh my god, I'm not making myself sound any better, am I? Um but let's just say if it was me and a stranger in the woods, I would not hesitate to kill them and eat them.
All right. Good to know. Good to know not
If
to be caught
if it
in
was a
the
family
stuck out in the
member,
woods
yeah.
with you.
If it
That's
was
a
a
good
family member, I don't think I could. If they were already dead, I don't know. I'm iffy.
I
I
feel
guess it
like I
depends on
could
the
fend
family
you
member.
off even in a weak state, but
Yeah,
I still don't want to take the chance.
I don't know. I'm a big girl. I need some sustenance.
There's a lot of meat. I mean 230 fucking pounds.
I'm all fat. I wouldn't be any good. I'd be too tough. The shriveled up muscles underneath those layers of fat would be too much. I'd be like jerky. But anywho, the concept of becoming a Wendigo ranks on the taboo list with the possibility of the more famous Skinwalker that I will not get into because I know there are a lot of Native Americans or natives in general communities that dislike talking about that specific topic. So we will just give it an honorable mention, and move on.
Yep.
All right. Due to the idea that Wendigos are primarily cold, weather loving beings such as myself, most of the sightings were reported by Canadian residents and those in the more northern states where it stays a little cooler, which, like you were saying, Which when you say New England, I struggle with that because I just always assume it's across the pond and it's not. I can't do it. Anything past if it's past, hold on, I got to think which one comes first. If it's past Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, or Missouri, I'm done. I don't know where anything's at.
Interesting.
I have a horrible sense of direction. However, the vast majority of the sightings that were actually documented and reported that I were able to find were usually between 1800 and 1930, which is a ways away. However, the oh my God, I just repeated myself. Sorry. Here, have another screwdriver, Natasha.
Yeah,
Fuck.
do it.
Apparently, I'm not drunk enough, I guess.
I can't wait for you to fuck up these names.
Yeah. Mention of the creature in written form dates back to 1636 by Paul Lejeune, I think.
Sounds
pretty
close.
good, though, right?
I don't know.
That sounded pretty good.
It doesn't sound good.
When he discussed an account where a woman heeds warning of an Achin that had devoured multiple tribal members and that the monster, quote, would eat a great many more of them if he were not called elsewhere, end quote. So I thought that was interesting. That was
interesting.
the first written one. It was way back, way back. No matter how much flesh this entity eats, it forever fights. Hi, Philip. Okay. All right. No matter how much flesh the entity eats, it forever fights the starving hunger for human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get into a little bit of a description of this mercilessly macabre. I know that's not right, but I will do it anyway. Monstrosity. You like that one?
Macabre.
Yeah, macabre. Some report the height of the thing being about 15 feet or like 4.5 meters is as big as it can get, supposedly. Growing endlessly with every meal, which I do find interesting because that means I guess nobody saw it after 15 feet because it would have got bigger if they ate it. Right? In theory. Although it devours flesh en masse, they look starved and extremely bony, and some use the word emaciated. About said emancipated. I was like, I know that's not right. Oh yeah, he thought that was funny. Okay, I'm the funniest person I know.
Me too.
Yeah. Some accounts even mentioned them as being skeletal and having like so thin a skin and being so bony that the bones actually pierce through their like paper-like skin.
Yep.
They say it's usually gray color, kind of like a corpse, which makes sense.
Right.
Kind of.
Yep.
They also are occasionally reported as having a very large sunken in or glowing eyes, which I thought those are two very different descriptions.
Yeah.
Sharp and stained fangs and monstrous claws. They're said to either have a dark matted fur or sometimes hairless. And I just keep thinking of like a naked mole rat.
Yep.
And those things are gross.
Pretty much.
Can you imagine a giant naked mole rat chasing you through the woods?
Nope. I can't imagine it, and I don't want to imagine it. So,
and just to make things better, there's, as you know, an absence of lip tissue, supposedly from them basically chowing down on themselves.
Yep.
Trying to eat whatever they could. Some people say that they have pointed ears and horns. And many traditions state that those who transform and flee to the cover of the woods develop traits of animals found in the wilderness, such as elk, kind of like their antlers. So that's one thing I wanted to point out when you guys were talking about it, because you talked about the differentiation between some of the accounts saying that they're basically just like a really skinny gray dude. And some of them, they do, after they had was it the comic book where I think it was a comic book, right? Where they was that the first one or was it a movie?
It was a movie in the 70s.
Yeah, they put the headdress on
he
or
was
whatever.
he was just wearing a deer skull on his head. Like it was just like a thing that he was wearing. You know what I mean?
Like a medicine man. Like a medicine man would. Well, okay. Yeah. So that was one of my thoughts was back in those times when this all kind of started, they did do a lot of rituals based around, they would wear animal hide and skulls and decorate themselves as certain animals for certain rituals, which makes sense. I don't know why it wouldn't have just taken it off. I don't know if it got stuck.
I
I
don't
mean, you
know.
would assume it would
Maybe.
fall off if you're getting real skinny, right? Your hair
Yeah,
probably falls out.
well, your head stays the same size, I feel like.
My
But
face, my face and head is a lot bigger than it used to be.
oh, okay. If you say so.
Right here, yeah.
I mean, like right there, yeah. But like he was
Or they
wearing it
strapped it
like
on
over
like one
the
of those
top of
beer
his.
hats. But,
Yeah,
but that's one thing I was thinking of is, I mean, maybe there's a reason. Maybe because the rituals were so instilled, and a lot of times I think they would do those rituals pre-hunt rituals.
yeah. Hmm.
So maybe the reason people would see it with these things on is because it was still, even though it may not be exactly human, it still has those rituals ingrained in it from years of practice. So it just does it out of habit.
Right, right. Which could misconstrue the thought of it looking like a deer, too. You know what I
True.
mean? Like, because it's not. It's not a deer. It's not a
I've
fucking
never,
overgrown, scrawny, decaying deer.
yeah,
Like
that's
think of
probably a
it.
not deer.
Yeah, a Wendigo is think of, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, it's fucking a fucking monstrous sized golem. You know, that's what a Wendigo looks like. It's Gollum just fucking multiplied by like 10.
Okay, that's not at all what I would have pictured. I pictured golems as being kind of more like me in stature, just bigger, like taller, but kind of round.
Yeah. Because the Gollum was he was like really small
To be fair, I've
in
only
the
seen that
Lord of the
movie.
Rings.
I've only seen it once, and it's been forever ago.
Yeah. He was so okay, so in Lord of the Rings he's like the same size as the hobbits, which hobbits are smaller than humans.
Yeah,
So he's like around their size.
hobbits are the main
And
guys, right?
yeah, the hobbits were
Okay,
the
sorry.
main
That's like
guys.
so many people are probably screaming at me right now. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, no, like, but that's what they look like. They're gray, fucking malnourished looking. Like you can see their
Yep.
rib cages and shit like
Ah,
that.
okay.
They lost their hair, on their heads. Their ears are pointed. Their teeth looks gnarly. Their eyes glow.
I have a thought. I know, hard to believe. Do you see any smoke coming out of my ears?
No, I
Um.
don't even see a light though. So
Oh,
there's no
yeah.
light bulb.
Come on, Philip. Oh, sorry. I did that light. Okay. Maybe it's. And that wraps up this week's episode. Sorry about the abrupt cliffhanger, but you should definitely join us next week when we start off right out of the gate with Kevin about the Wendigos in part 2. See ya. Thank you for listening to this episode of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. If you wouldn't mind, please take a moment and rate and review the show wherever you're listening. I know it might not seem like much, but it greatly helps the show by allowing us to be found more easily when other listeners search for us. If you have a chance, head on over to www.patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy and become a patron. Members of the Big Show tier get bonus materials, personalized shoutouts, access to the private Discord server, and video versions of episodes, both regular and members only, that are raw and unedited. So they're always a good time. As an added thank you to the Big Show patrons, we also are going to be giving out custom stickers and mini prints after 3 months of membership. I'm currently offering a 7-day free trial, so head on over and see how awesome being a member can be. Before you go, click the link in the description and grab yourself or someone you know some of the self-designed merch, or make a donation to help keep the show going and fund future events and investigations. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and magnets can be found on the TeePublic site, and they have sales at least once a month. I believe it is 30 or 35% off. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly how much, but keep checking back and get them when they're discounts. They have $16 tees, and it's great. For handmade crochet items such as Nessie, Mothman, aliens, Fresno nightcrawlers, and the little ghost or a big ghost, as well as pants, swimwear, the best tumblers I have found yet as far as merch is concerned, dresses, office supplies, and more, visit the Square merch store. You can also follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. If you have any questions, topic recommendations, or personal encounters, please don't hesitate to send them in to cryptidscreepsandconspiracy@gmail.com or submit them through the contact form at www.cryptidscreepsandconspiracy.com. I would love to hear from you and share your experience on a special listener episode. Just make sure to specify that I have permission to add your encounter to the show, and let me know whether you would like to have your real name or an alias to maintain confidentiality. Thank you again so much for all your support, and I'll see you next time, my friend.